Okay, so I've got this guy who did the double and half marathon. You can see it's not complete. Track ends before he gets all the way to the end of the route. So I'm going to use the GOTOES Race Repair tool. What I'm doing is I'm uploading his original file that has all the information he has, and then a course file, and then setting it to run. And then I'm going to enter in the start time, the time of day that he started the race. And that takes a little bit of time to get it exactly right. You want to make sure that you get it down to the second. And then we enter the stop time of the race. And what GOTOES is going to do is it's going to take all the real data, keep it, and then for any portion that's missing, it's going to fabricate it using an algorithm that takes into account the pace that you already achieved on your route. So it makes it look as realistic as possible. It's going to have you finish at the exact time that you really finished, and it's going to substitute in a track for what you lost if your GPS died in the middle of your race. Okay, so it calculates your finish time there in red, and we're just going to make sure we set it for the run algorithm so that it sets your pace. I'm going to reset the time zone, hit upload, and go. So you can see now the pink line represents his real data, and the orange is the fabricated data, the missing portion of the race. I'm not taking the position data from his original file, but instead taking only the position and elevation from the new file. I'm also going to make sure to recalculate the distance based on the new file. This is going to give the most accurate result. The reason we only want to include the position data from the new fabricated file is because the points are not precisely in the same position as your original data. They're very close and they should match your speed, but what will happen is you'll get these little micro zigging, zagging back and forth between the two tracks if you overlay the two position files. So it's best to just take the position from the new fabricated file, and then you can take your heart rate and all that from the remaining file. Okay, look, now he has his full track. It goes all the way to the end. The distance is correct, and you can see that he's got his heart rate in there. Of course, the heart rate is not available for the fabricated portion, so it just draws a flat line, but that's the best we can do. If you really want to, you could export this to a CSV and edit the file. Okay, so now we have a more complicated situation. This guy did the Queenstown half marathon, and in his situation, look, he's got this really long duration for the race. So we already know that we have a problem for the file. He's missing the end and the duration is too long. So I'm going to actually import this into the combiner tool first, and we're going to do some editing. So as you can see, the duration is too long. It was like over 10 hours. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, the first point looks okay. It doesn't have latitude or longitude, 0, but I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the end, and oh yeah, look here. So he's got this one errant point that's way into the future. So the best thing to do in this situation is just to delete that point altogether, this futuristic point. That's causing the time issue. I'm going to go ahead and delete the second to last point also for good measure. And now everything should be fine with this file. It's still missing the end of the race, but we're going to go ahead and just export this and use the race repair tool next, getting rid of that errant point. All right, so we've exported the file. We're going to use that as the source for the GOTOES Race Repair. So we're going to upload his file, the one that I truncated off those bad points, and then we're going to upload the course file. So this course file, of course, represents the full course that he should have done. You can usually get the course files from the race director's webpage, or you can even draw one yourself if you need to. GOTOES will accept the course in any format, TCX, GPX, FIT, or even CSV if you have it. We're going to go ahead and specify his start time and his finish time using this tool. Okay, and now that we have the start and stop times, we're just going to put this as run because it'll use the running algorithm to compute his pace for the part that we're going to fabricate. And look, so we have a little issue here. See how these don't overlap? They're supposed to overlap. The start time should be right at the beginning. So this took me a little while to figure out, but it's because of the time zone. So what happened is this race he ran in November of 2024, but we're working on it in May of 2025. And the issue is that it was daylight savings then. So I just switched it to plus 13 hours instead of plus 12. And that got the files to overlap properly. The reason I'm telling you this is because these are some of the problems that you might run up against if you're trying to fix your own tracks. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and upload this to Strava. We remembered in the past step to only include the position from the new file, and we made sure to calculate distance. Those should be checked by default. Anyway, that's another thing that you might want to be aware of. Okay, so as you can see now, we've got the full race finishing in Queenstown. So he's got the full race, he's got his heart rate, he's got his pace, everything is there, and it looks pretty accurate. All right, well, I hope that this tutorial has helped you out and it allows you to fix your own race activities.